For most students in the Sioux Falls School District, high school is not the end of a formal education, but the beginning of a life. It's through high school that many times a student will discover alternative courses, advanced studies to meet their growing interests, or the activities that keep them engaged in school. The senior you're about to meet has been engaged in school for a long time, and her high school graduation will not be so much of an end as it is a launch pad. In this episode of Senior Spotlight, we travel to Lincoln High School to meet a one-of-a-kind student who marches to the beat of her own drum. It's hard to know where to begin with Callie Burris, so let's start here. This is a video we made at the Sioux Falls School District's Challenge Center, then located at Garfield Elementary, in 2009. If a student is in the district's gifted program, they might qualify for the Challenge Center.
One thing I really like about the Challenge Center is the science, because you get to learn stuff that's more advanced than your grade. I've learned high school stuff, and I'm a fourth grader, but it's not hard to understand. It's actually very easy concepts, and it's very interesting, and we get to do extremely cool experiments.
High school stuff in fourth grade. It stands to reason then that Callie would continue to push the boundaries of what was possible as she got older.
I went to the Challenge Center from John Harris in third grade, and then stayed there through fifth grade. It was a wonderful change for me. It was very helpful to me to be in that sort of environment. And then I went to Patrick Henry Middle School. There was Yuli during lunch. Honestly, we all kind of used it as a chance for us all to just kind of like talk. And I was in the advanced classes. I skipped a math class, so I didn't take sixth grade math. I began in seventh grade math. And so then in my eighth grade year, I would be bused to the school every day to take geometry. It was very scary at first for little tiny eighth grader. And I used to do dance, and I kept seeing girls who I would dance with be here, and then they give me weird looks like, why are you here? But it ended up being very nice. It was definitely the sort of class that I needed, not to be incredibly bored all the time.
This is Callie today in her Advanced Placement Psychology class at Lincoln High School. It's one of a few AP courses she will have completed by the end of the year.
I've taken most of the AP classes that are available, other than the art ones and the language ones. By the end of this year, I will have taken 9 or 10 AP tests.
But that's not all. Not by a long shot.
So Stanford has a program that is called High School Summer College, and you can apply in sort of like a mini version of the Common Application. And if you get accepted, you go there for a summer and you do their summer quarter, and you can choose a minimum amount of credits or maximum amount of credits, and you take classes all summer with actual Stanford students, and you live in the dorms. It was a wonderful experience. It was fantastic. It was such a good thing that I did. I've taken AP Physics 1 and 2 here. I've taken up through, well, at least at this school, I've taken up through AP Stats. I took a beginning calculus class at Stanford this summer, and I'm doing Calculus 2 at Augustana currently.
Just to recap, 10 AP courses, 3 summer college courses at Stanford, and currently taking Calculus 2 at Augustana. In fact, we were able to record this interview during second period at Lincoln because she had already completed her semester-long world geography class in about 9 weeks.
I should have taken it freshman year, like most people did, but no, I took debate too, so luckily I have that done now. A lot of my class has been very interesting. AP Literature has been a really nice class for me because it's more discussion-based than English classes I've had previously, and I really enjoy discussing literature and the meaning behind it.
But again, that's not all. You see, despite taking all these courses, Callie has also maintained a perfect 4.0 grade point average throughout her high school career.
I don't like falling behind and stuff, so I try to keep very on top of my work. I try to do a good job on it as well, and just do what I can.
If you think universities would be knocking down her door with all of that, here's another surprise.
I got a 36 on the ACT last fall.
For those of you keeping track at home, that's a perfect score. The maximum possible on the ACT. 0.06% of students nationwide achieve that score. But then again, she did have practice.
I had taken the ACT once before in 8th grade, so that was the practice I had with it.
What'd you get that time?
33.
Wow.
It's through a program through Northwestern University for advanced students to take the SAT and the ACT. My mom had me take the SAT 4 times, starting in 6th grade.
Her success in these areas are being passed on to younger students.
After school, it varies a lot during the week. I teach a SAT, ACT math prep class, so that is once a week. People that I knew wanted to start one, and then they invited me to teach it. So, because we're all pretty good at math and figured that we could try and help people out with that. I usually am given the students who are less familiar with mathematic concepts, so that's usually my job.
There's more. Callie is the captain of the Quiz Bowl team. She's the co-founder of Lincoln's Poetry Club.
Poetry Club is more so about sharing individual works, and we try to make it as positive an environment as possible. So our policy is, like, we only have one rule, is that you cannot degrade your own work. That's the only rule. And otherwise, you can present however you want. You can sit on the floor if you need to, or have everyone turn around, because some people who go aren't comfortable with public speaking, including myself a lot of the time. So we just wanted to give a space for people to share their own work, and sometimes very personal work, that they could feel safe sharing.
Just when you're starting to wonder when Callie finds time to sleep, you realize this isn't the half of it. That's the Lincoln High School Marching Band in the Hollywood Christmas Parade on November 27th in Los Angeles. Callie is with the rest of the percussion right in the center.
Well, the last couple weeks have been a lot of parade preparation for the Hollywood Christmas Parade that we just went to out in California. It's been a lot of bus riding, about 80 hours on a bus each way, or total, and then just a lot of transition. We got back on Tuesday / Wednesday about 1:15 a.m. We had no school for the kids, for the marching band kids on Wednesday because of the bus ride, and then Thursday we had the Dakota Wind Quintet in. So this morning was kind of the first day of really getting our feet on the ground, kind of trying to get some traction and really kind of cleaning up after the season. There's a lot to clean up after the marching band season.
For decades, Lincoln High School has been known for its band. But how does a high school from South Dakota get to lead Santa Claus in the Hollywood Christmas Parade?
We submitted an application for the Hollywood Christmas Parade, and they chose us, so we're very excited to get in. There were 16 bands from around the country that were able to participate, and we were the last band in the parade. We were able to lead in Santa Claus. They asked us to do that, so it's really a cool honor for us.
This added honor has meant a longer marching band season than usual.
The marching band season generally runs until about the end of October, the very beginning of November with the indoor marching shows. This trip extended the marching season by about 3 to 4 weeks.
And for anyone who knows anything about marching band, the season is already pretty long. For Callie, it was even longer this year.
Marching band season is very difficult for parts of it. It can also depend what section you're in, because like drumline and color guard operate almost separately a lot of the time from the rest of the band, so I don't really know what their season is like. During the summer, drumline has 4-hour sectionals twice a week. Those usually involve at least an hour of marching. We do something called tracking, where you play warm-up exercises as you march and turn. So we'd go through the parking lot, then over to 36th, then up a hill. Sometimes we'd go back down and then back up the hill again. And then down around here and back through the parking lot. And then there's Spat Camp, which is 6 days a week, 8 hours a day of just band. I've had some back problems because of my drums, and they all sort of came at once during that parade. So personally, it wasn't that great for me, but I think the band did a very good job. I play quads or tenors, which is the big sets of marching drums. They weigh about 35 pounds or 37, depending on what model you have. And I'm obviously a small person, so it's a lot of weight on your back. I've had spine compression issues if I do too much marching before, and some like muscle issues. My shoulders are also rotating out of place, but I'm done now with quads, so I don't have to have that anymore.
Why would she subject herself to this?
I really loved doing it, and I knew that after the parade I wouldn't have to march anymore, so I could just deal with the damage I had. By the time I realized it, it was a little late to really do anything. I was already in the season, so I figured I'd just finish it out. There aren't a ton of opportunities for percussion like that after high school other than drum corps and indoor lines, but you can do those until you're 21 or 22. And so I figured I would just not do that. Originally I wanted to, but that has had to be canceled because of back issues. Band is an interesting group of people. I guess you make a lot of friends in it, especially when you join in your freshman year. A lot of my friends from middle school and the people that I'm still friends with are in marching band. And during practice, it does kind of suck because you're like tired, you're playing a lot, and sometimes you just want to go to sleep, and sometimes there are a lot of bugs out, and it's humid. But to me, it was really the competitions that made it worth it, because you got to spend a bunch of time with your friends and then have a shorter performance time. But especially when you're like preparing for the performance, there's much more excitement around it than just like practicing. So that's always really entertaining. Well, like when you're done with the show, it's sort of this like mix of like physical exhaustion, but then you're also really proud of yourself and what you've done, especially like if the show went really, really well. Especially with drumming, you get sort of like this euphoric sort of feeling, like when you are like playing a lot of really cool things and everyone's playing together. And it's this really amazing feeling of just like a lot of unity and excitement. So hitting the last note of a show is always a really nice moment.
Callie likes music so much, she's done even more of it.
My focus has shifted more towards symphonic style band and concert percussion.
In a few weeks, she'll audition for AllState Band. But as you might guess, it's not her first experience in this area either.
I first auditioned for high school AllState Band sophomore year. I did not freshman year because I was in debate then, and that took up a lot of my time. I made it that year, and I made AllState Band last year as well. I was also in AllState Orchestra my sophomore year. It's really nice because you just get to go spend a few days and just work on music. And sometimes, most of the time, at least at AllState Band, they give you like interesting music, which sometimes for percussionists, especially in orchestras, it can get kind of boring. But when I was in AllState Orchestra my sophomore year, we had very exciting music for a lot of the parts. It's just nice to like just work on music all day. And it's a pretty relaxed environment as well, and you tend to get to know a lot of the kids who are there over the years. And Lincoln also has a lot of people that go, so you already know a lot of people.
And of course, that's not all.
There is Groove Inc. in town, which is a percussion thing for all sorts of ages. I'm in the top competitive group. We will begin competing in the spring, I believe. I'm playing timpani in that ensemble, which is new for me because I've never been in the pit before. I've always been marching. I also help teach the younger kids that are there.
You don't make AllState Band and Orchestra repeatedly or get asked to work with younger students without substantial skill.
We have 5 different concert bands. The top band is an audition band. The top 2 bands are audition band, the symphonic band and the concert band. Callie has been in our top symphonic band for, I think, all 4 years that she's been here at Lincoln. She has participated in solo ensemble contests. She's auditioned for and made AllState Orchestra, AllState Band. She plays tenors in the marching band. She's done that for the last 4 years, which are probably about the heaviest things to carry around in the marching field. And for her frame, that's a huge burden for her, but she does a great job. She's been a great leader for us. It is very rare to have a student in an audition band all 4 years. To do that, you have to get in as a freshman, and there's probably on average about 3 to 4 freshmen that make it into symphonic band on a yearly basis, so that's pretty awesome.
There can also be a misconception about percussion.
Percussion can range from a battery instrument, which is something that has a head on it that's a non-pitched instrument, to keyboards, to mallet keyboards, to just kind of the bells and whistles, the literal bells and whistles of the section. So it really is having to be a master of probably about 20 to 30 different types of instruments at any given time. Being able to play that proficiently and rhythmically, obviously, and being able to read those rhythms and understand how to play the instrument correctly. Callie is a very well-rounded percussionist. She's not just a drummer, she's a percussionist, and there is a difference. And she is a real master. She does a great job. Well, Callie has always taken her music very seriously, and she takes what she does in the Lincoln Band program very seriously, and she's always been very easy to work with. She's been very responsible. She's been very respectful toward us as directors, and just does her role perfectly. She just is one of those kids that just does her job, and she just does a great job at it. But she also can really step up and lead as well. She does a great job of leading the group, and the kids respect her and they follow her as well. Callie's role in the percussion section is she really kind of helps to take care of the section. She is a very organized person, a very detail-oriented person. She just really keeps track of the music. She does a lot of the part assignments and just makes a lot of the decisions for the section.
Callie will continue to pursue music, but it won't be her career.
I want to hopefully do theoretical physics research and also probably do a professorship with that at a university. A few years ago, I started considering doing astrophysics because I realized that I really enjoyed space. I also was taking physics classes that I really enjoyed. I've always loved math, so I knew I wanted to do something with that. And then over time, I realized that I loved math more than I thought I did, so I wanted more of that in an equal balance to physics, and theoretical physics gives that option to me. I also enjoy that it's sort of research ahead of its time, and that you can predict something that you might not prove in your lifetime, but then you can have it end up changing the world later on. So I think that's really cool. I think that it would help me get a research position that I want to teach. A lot of the time if they hire researchers, they don't actually want to teach, but they have to. And then you end up having like grad students teaching your classes. But I would really enjoy teaching like undergrads, like even beginning classes, and hopefully helping people love math and physics.
Naturally, her teachers see that same drive, motivation, and focus in the classroom.
So I had Callie as a student in my AP Physics 1 and AP Physics 2 courses. So I really got a chance to get to know her there. She's a great science student, really has a good passion and curiosity for learning about science, and then obviously she has a great intellect as well. She's able to understand the material in the class really well. But she was one of those students to me that I really loved because she was always asking like deeper, more probing questions about what we were studying. Like she didn't want to just be satisfied with learning the material as it was being presented in class. She was always asking me additional questions about, well, how would this work in such and such situation? And so that really stood out to me about her, as that she really had a good thirst and passion for learning science at a deep level. You look at the AP Physics curriculum, it's a very difficult curriculum, so and one that we have to move pretty fast through too. And so she was great at being able to handle the pace of a course like that, and understanding things very quickly. And then I think the thing that was really great too about her personality is she's so just kind of unassuming, and she's very willing to help other students when maybe they need a little extra help. I thought like when we would do lab work in there, and that was a big part of the class, is doing lab activities, that she was fabulous at being a good lab partner, making sure everyone in her lab group understood what they were doing as a group, and not going maybe too fast than what some of the other students were really able to handle. To know that she has a continued passion to wanting to maybe study physics in college, that makes me feel really good as a teacher, because as a teacher you're always hoping that you can inspire students to at least fall in love with something that they enjoy and that they can find a passion about. And so for me as a physics teacher, I always hope that it can be physics for some of my students. That's really cool to hear that Callie has a continued interest in that. I think she would be a fabulous physicist someday. She has a great intellect for that, really understands the world of physics and how all the pieces kind of fit together.
It's hard to know where to end with Callie Burris, so we'll talk about next year. While she considers it her greatest accomplishment to date,
I'm probably most proud of going to Stanford this summer and passing all of my classes, and I think I got all A's in them.
Stanford is third on her list of schools.
Reed College in Portland, Oregon It's a pretty small liberal arts school, but they still have a wonderful physics and math program, and they have a nuclear reactor that I can become certified to run. So I find that appealing.
While she's waiting to hear about acceptance, she can take solace in knowing that as a musician, a daughter, a student, a teacher, and a friend, she's made a profound impact already in her life.
I could see her being a great teacher because she is such a great communicator, the way she relates with people. She has a great personality that I think, you look at her at Lincoln High School, she has a lot of friends because she is the kind of person that's very approachable. So I could see her being a great teacher, especially a great physics teacher because she understands the material so well. When you look at the well-roundedness that she has of not just being one of the best students that we have in our school, but also being involved in many activities, I think that's exactly what we're trying to shoot for when we think about the full high school experience for these kids, is that they can be great on the academic side, but not just that's the only thing that they do, but rather that they are also extending themselves out from that and growing as kind of the whole person and getting experiences doing lots of other things. When you look at Callie and how she carries herself, if you would meet her, you would know that she's probably one of the smartest kids in the school because she's very, like I said, her personality is very unassuming. I think just very nice, gentle, warm spirit. She seems like she gets along very well with most all the classmates that we had in our classes, and other students felt comfortable being around her and asking her questions. I think a lot of students knew she was pretty bright, just because how she carries herself, but she didn't come across as that being something that she really thought was all that important to herself. So
I'll just say that I think Callie is just a fantastic person. I think she's a fantastic musician, and I'm just really proud of her. I think that she's just done great things, and she's going to continue to do great things in life. So I'm just really excited to see where her path takes her. She will be very successful.